I never pictured myself as the kind of woman who hides something this big. I've always prided myself on being honest, brutally so. I thought if I ever felt tempted, I'd face it head on or walk away before I crossed a line. But here I am, lying awake at 2:14 in the morning, staring at my phone and rereading an old message from a man who isn't my husband, feeling that dangerous pull between guilt and longing. It all started with a sink that wouldn't drain. For weeks, my husband kept saying he'd fix it when he had time. He's a good man, loyal and steady, but when I have time can stretch on for months. One gray Tuesday afternoon, I gave up and called a plumber. When he arrived, I noticed him instantly. Not movie star handsome, but there was something about the way he carried himself, calm, certain, competent. He said his name was Caleb. When he ducked under the sink, he muttered with a crooked smile, "Pipe cleaner says it's too tight. I'll have to work it loose." I laughed before I could stop myself. His eyes lingered on me just a fraction too long, and mine did the same to him. It was an attraction at first, not exactly. It was something more subtle, the shock of being truly noticed. After 15 years of marriage, my husband and I love each other, but sometimes I feel like I've faded into the background of our life. Caleb asked about the framed graduation photo on the counter, asked if I still played guitar like in the picture, asked where I'd grown up. They weren't small talk questions. He was listening. The second time I saw him, I hadn't planned it. I called the same company for a leak upstairs, expecting someone new. But there he was again, hair damp from the drizzle. His grin suggested he'd been hoping for this as much as I had. Nothing inappropriate happened that day. But after that, the messages began little things at first. A joke about plumbing. A meme. Then longer texts. How my day had been. Whether my husband noticed my new haircut. What I was wearing to work. I told myself it was harmless. Just friendly banter. But deep down, I knew I was waiting for his name to light up my phone. The night everything almost tipped over, my husband was working late. Caleb texted to say he'd accidentally left a wrench in my garage. Could he swing by? I should have said no. Instead, I told him to come over. He stood in my kitchen, rainwater on his jacket, eyes scanning me like he was trying to memorize every detail. When I handed him the wrench, his fingers brushed mine intentionally, I think. The space between us felt charged. One step closer and we'd be somewhere we couldn't turn back from. He said quietly, "House feels warmer when you're the only one in it." I felt my pulse in my throat, but I forced a laugh, mumbled something about feeding the dog, and ushered him out. That was months ago. The text slowed, then stopped. I deleted them all, though I sometimes wish I hadn't. My marriage looks the same from the outside. My husband has no idea, but I do. I know how close I came to crossing a line that would have changed everything. The part that haunts me isn't the almost, it's the absence. I miss the thrill. I miss the way I felt like a woman who could still turn ahead. Not just the one who makes dinner and pays the bills. Temptation, I've learned, isn't always about the other person. Sometimes it is about rediscovering the pieces of yourself you thought were gone, and how frighteningly easy it is for someone to hand them back. I'm not sure if writing this is a confession or keepsake. Maybe both. All I know is that for a brief, dangerous moment, I felt like I was more than just a wife. And you can't unknow something like that, no matter how hard you try.